Thank you, Michelle, and good morning. What a great day to be in Atlanta. Can you take a moment and that's the smell of football in the air. And we are excited to be here today to announce this year's Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game. So ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the media, valued sponsors and passionate fans, welcome to today's press conference. It is truly a pleasure to have you all here as we gather to celebrate and announce some exciting developments in the world of college football. First and foremost, I want to extend a warm welcome to our conference partners, the Mideastern and Southwestern athletic conferences, as well as our game title sponsor, Cricket Wireless. If you guys would just please stand for us. I remember some cricket. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Our fan experience title sponsor, the Coca-Cola Company. He got stuck in the airport in Baltimore, so he's on the way. Our halftime show sponsor, Disney on the Yard. And of course, our other sponsor, Truist, our financial education partner and our exclusive banking partner, Truist Bank. So Travis, if you would just stand for us. And any other sponsors that we have in the room, if you would just please stand, we would love to acknowledge you for your support. Your support and partnership are invaluable to us, and we are grateful for the opportunity to work together. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the athletic directors for both Florida A&M University, Ms. Tiffany Dawn Sykes, and Norfolk State University, Ms. Melody Webb. I want to also acknowledge members of our advisory board who are present here today. If any members of our advisory board are present, if you would stand and be acknowledged. And some of our sponsors are on the advisory board, so if you would stand, that would be great. You know, your guidance and expertise have been instrumental in shaping the future of our organization, and we appreciate it. Today, we are thrilled to announce the return of the reigning HBCU national champions, Florida A&M University Rattlers, to Atlanta to face off against the Norfolk State Spartans, making their first appearance in the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge. This highly anticipated matchup marks the opening of the college football season in week 0 on August 24th. A momentous occasion that will be broadcast on ESPN's Saturday Night College Football Live on ABC. The significance of this game extends beyond the field, resonating with fans and viewers across the nation. As we enter the 19th year of this game and its 7th year in Atlanta, we are honored to host it here at Center Park Stadium, the iconic venue that once housed the 1996 Olympic Games. The tradition and history of this event are deeply rooted in the fabric of college football, and we are committed to upholding its legacy while embracing the evolution of the sport. In light of the changing landscape of college football, we are pleased to announce the new dates for the 2024 Cricket Celebration Bowl and Band of the Year events, both which will be hosted the weekend of December 14th. This strategic move ensures that the bowl game remains the opening act of the College Football Bowl season, culminating with the HBCU Marching Band National Championship Band of the Year. Furthermore, we're excited to introduce a new twist this year, and that is the Metro Atlanta High School Band of the Year competition. Throughout the season, high school bands will compete for the opportunity to showcase their talents in a championship stage at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, along with our distinguished college marching band participants. I want to thank Cricket Wireless for being an early sponsor for this event, and we want to give you a round of applause for that. Thank you so much. You know, these new additions promise to infuse our championship weekend with even more excitement and energy and enthusiasm. This expansion reflects our commitment to fostering talent and celebrating the rich musical traditions of our community. In the spirit of growth and innovation, this year we will see a record number of HBCU games televised on major networks such as ESPN, HBCU Go, NBC, and the NFL Network. These broadcasts will not only showcase the skills and dedication of our players and coaches, but also shine a spotlight on the unique stories and legacies of our universities. As we embark on this new season, fulfilled with promise and potential, I want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering support and dedication to the sport we all love. Together, we will continue to elevate HBCU college football and inspire the next generation of players and fans. This rivalry is real. Let's go. Now I'd like to bring forth my good friend, and I often call him, and he is the voice of HBCU football, Mr. Jay Walker. Jay has served as college football analyst with ESPN for the past 24 years. He's a prolific All-American quarterback at Howard University, nicknamed Sky Walker. He was inducted into the Bison Hall of Fame in 2005 and named to the MEAC SWAC all-time greatest teams. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jay Walker.
What's up, everybody? Now, if you notice, I heard I was gonna get excited. I was gonna say, wow, this is one of the few times that I've had Florida A&M fans clap for me. But they didn't give me no love. They didn't give me no love because I call like I see it. but I'll take that one there. What's up, football fans? Y'all ready? Yeah. Are the Rattlers ready to strike and strike? I'm not gonna say the whole thing because that's only for the president. Y'all can say it. I know y'all been waiting to do it. Behold. Green and gold. Oh, it's football time. I'm so excited to be here. Mr. Grant, it's been 19 years of service at ESPN. Make sure my bosses know that. Working on 20. Haven't been around that long. But one of the joys I have about being a moderator here today and having the ability to call this game since its inception, I've worked on every one of those, is realizing the exposure that these young student athletes get. I mean, think about it. When I came out and I played HBCU football, there were 6 games on TV, and you hope you got one of them. Now, you got a game on ABC to start the year, and if you're good enough, you can end the year on ABC as well. Florida A&M, the challenge is on y'all. We have not had a team start the season in Atlanta and end the season in Atlanta. Can the Rattlers do it? That's the storyline. Yeah. Norfolk State, welcome to the MEAC SWAC Challenge. It'll be your school's first appearance here, and I know that those Spartan Legions like to travel deep, so it's going to be an exciting weekend of college football. I think about all the legends that played in this game. Going back to the very first one, there's a quarterback, rest in peace, by the name of Tavares Jackson, that we introduced to America. You had Bruce Eugene from Grambling State. You had Tariq Cohen from North Carolina A&T. The list goes on and on. I want to see who's going to make their next mark and become a SWAC, MEAC SWAC Challenge legend. But that's my perspective of it all. For more, let's see what the MEAC SWAC Challenge is all about as you take a look at this video.
Atlanta, Georgia. The HBCU football capital hosts the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge on August 24th. Florida A&M Rattlers, Norfolk State Spartans. SWAC versus MEAC. The rivalry is real. Come out to Center Park Stadium to see the returning HBCU national champions and 2 of the best HBCU bands in the land, the Marching 100 and the Spartan Legion. The day starts with a kickoff fan experience tailgate and concludes with a primetime matchup on ABC. For more information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
All right, y'all getting ready for it? And I'm going to tell you, they're not joking when they say two of the best bands in the land, with all due respect to both institutions. Halftime's going to be something else. We know we're going to have a football game, but now let's bring up some of the guys that are going to be the leaders in this game that will have a more significant role than I have. Starting off with the head coach, the leader of the Spartans, Dawson Odoms, head coach, Norfolk State University. For those of y'all that don't know, Coach Odoms is one of the few participants, I think maybe ever, one of maybe two, that have coached in this game as a SWAC coach and now will coach in this game as a MEAC coach. He knows a whole lot about this game and what it means and the importance of this football game. When you talk about Coach Odoms, he's in his 3rd/4th season outside the COVID year at Norfolk State University after having spent 9 years at Southern University. Coach Odoms, welcome to the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Thank you. Now, as we get ready for football, and as you sit here and you embrace this moment, let's make sure we all understand that this is something we call our own. We start the year in Atlanta with excitement, enthusiasm. And I want to bring greetings to you from Behold the Green and Gold, from our president, Dr. Adams Gaston, and our wonderful AD, Miss Melanie Webb. We have something at Norfolk that's called love, a culture, tradition, passion that's like no other. When we travel, we do it in style. When we leave, we do it in grace. We come to you, Atlanta, to bring something that you haven't seen before. And that is something that we yell from the hills or the mountaintops of Norfolk, Virginia, called Behold the Green and Gold. Thank you for having us. It's a wonderful opportunity, and we're looking forward to put Norfolk State on a platform where we can showcase the greatness of our academic institution and our program that we're so proud to be a part of. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about, Coach. Man, can I get a helmet? Strap me up. I'm ready to play for you. On the other side, another leader of great men, and give him a warm welcome, as this will be his very first head coaching job, the brand spanking shiny new head coach of the Rattlers of Florida A&M University, James Colsey III. Coach Colsey III, you have the floor.
Good morning. First and foremost, I need to say thank you to my wife. I know she's probably live streaming right now, looking at my mannerisms and making sure my jacket's on, fitting correctly. Want to acknowledge our athletic director, Vice President Tiffany Dawn Sykes. We've been traveling the last couple months, and I just want to say thank you again for being here this morning. Our Senior Associate Athletic Director of Compliance and our football oversight, Miss Brittany Johnson, who's sitting in the back. I want to say thank you for being here this morning. Our Director of Football Operations, Miss Jennifer Santiago, who's also in her first year. I want to thank you for keeping me straight. And last and certainly not least, the FAMU Rattlers that are in the building who made their way to Atlanta, Georgia to support every single thing that we are doing on the football side. Now I have warned them, media, I have warned them not to blurt out any questions while this is going on, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold them, so I just want to let you know that there may be some questions that come out through this whole deal. Want to just thank you for the opportunity for this football team to be a part of the 2024 MEAC SWAC Challenge. We are extremely excited to be here, extremely excited to show what the FAMU Rattlers are all about. Secondly, I'd like to thank Mr. John Grant. Now, him and I did not, even though we spoke yesterday, we did not plan to be wearing the same gray that we are wearing this morning, but I want to thank you for you and your staff for the hospitality and for everything you guys have done thus far. And I'm sure you guys will continue to do that once we arrive and then after we leave. And again, as mentioned, it's exciting for this football team to be back where we ended last year, which was in Atlanta, Georgia, and obviously getting a chance to start here again and as the HBCU reigning national champions. We will have our work cut out for us. Coach Odoms and his football team will be ready, and hopefully we are ready as well. Again, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Coach. And let me take a point of personal privilege right now and also thank all the folks there. I know we tried to give acknowledgments out there, but anybody that's associated from Michelle to John with the MEAC SWAC Challenge, can we give them a round of applause for putting on a first-class event, and we look forward to it. Now we're going to have a question and answer period there. If there's anybody in the media that wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. We will bring the microphone to you. Identify yourself, what organization that you're with, and then I will point to who we're acknowledging when we get started. I'm going to start with the first couple questions a little bit, and I'm going to start with the newcomer first, Coach Colsey III.
Thank you.
Replacing Willie Simmons, who I think in a brief career became a legendary coach at Florida A&M. What will be the differences or the wrinkles that you will bring to the program compared to Coach Simmons from the past couple seasons?
Well, I mean, obviously, Coach Simmons was not just our head coach. He was our offensive coordinator, and he was also our quarterback coach. My background has been on defense for quite some time, so, we will have some wrinkles as far as where that head coach will be spending most of his time. But, the foundation was built on making sure we worked hard, making sure we had great student-athlete experience, making sure that we ensure that our Rattler fans are excited when they see us take the field. So, that has not changed. We are a pretty veteran group, even though we had a few losses as far as graduation and portal goes. But we're a very senior-laden group. We have a bunch of graduate seniors. We have a bunch of seniors on this roster. So nothing's changed. The foundation is built. We want to make sure that we are playing and ensuring that our Rattler fans are excited on what they see on the field week in and week out.
Coach Owens, my question for you would be, having coached in this game, how important is this football game to the university, to the football team, and to set the tone for the season?
Well, it's very important. I think when you look at the MEAC SWAC Challenge, you're not only looking at the two institutions that will be playing in that game. We represent more than just that game. You're going to see a community to come together and rally behind two great programs. It's important that we put on display the discipline of what our program represents. We're going to be in the homes of a lot of people, and some of them may not even know about Norfolk State. But the excitement around the world is going to be seen of what make our HBCUs proud. We're not only representing Norfolk State and Florida A&M, we represent all those that look like us. And we know that's a tremendous responsibility. And we're grateful for the opportunity to be playing on a platform where we can display how far we came and still how far we got to go.
Coach Odoms, follow-up question to that. Let's talk a little football-wise. Season ago, you had a very young team. You all were competitive in a majority of your games but could not close out. What are you looking forward to from this upcoming season?
The experiences. I think in order for you to become a really good football program, you got to go through some things. Adversity is a part of it. Our locker room, the cohesiveness of the individuals that are there are coming back, and they've experienced a lot of things. Losing is one of those things. And I really am looking forward to 2024 because this locker room is built on something great this year. I'm really grateful for this football team, and I'm very proud of where we are right now. And I'm looking forward to be on display on 8/24, which are iconic numbers in my mind because it brings about a person that displayed the passion. God rest in peace, his soul, Kobe Bean Bryant. Not only are we playing on 8/24, we're playing and representing the numbers of an individual that a lot of us know about. And we kind of want to bring that same Mamba mentality.
Exactly. Talk about Norfolk State. They returned 18 of 21 starters on the offensive side of the ball, 19 of 21 on the defensive side of the ball, something to be excited about. Coach Colsey III. Yes, sir. I got to state the obvious, probably the most obvious question out here everybody wants to know. You lost the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year and an experienced quarterback in Jeremy Musa. What's it looking like at quarterback for the Rattlers?
Well, you got a young man, Junior Meritovich, who's come back for his third year. He's been in the offense for that time frame. We brought a young man in that threw for over 7,000 yards at the FBS level in Daniel Richardson. But through the transition and through the coaching change, people fail to realize that our quarterback coach wasn't able to be with us the entire spring. So, we got two really good players that we're moving toward. We're not going to have a two quarterback system, I can tell you that. But right now we're 1A, 1B. We have two guys right now that are trying to take the job. And they've done a great job over the summer with our install, with our OTAs. We have 88 guys right now that are on campus, working and been lifting all summer. So, for us, biggest thing for me, and as you know, Jay, we want to make sure the quarterbacks take care of the football. So that's going to be the big thing for me is that our starting quarterback will be the guy who takes care of the football the best. And so as of right now, I don't have a guy to name. I think yesterday I was telling the media that our starting quarterback is going to be our AD. So as of right now, Tiffany Dawn Sykes will be our starting quarterback until further notice.
Tiffany, can you throw it?
I saw her throw yesterday, so we'll probably be handing the ball off a lot if she's back there as a quarterback.
And with FAMU, obviously the big pressure becomes to be the man. You got to beat the man. And right now, Florida A&M is the man. We'll go to questions in the audience right now, starting with the gentleman to my right.
Jake Donald, Core 360 Sports. Coach Odom, first I want to welcome you back to Atlanta. You started your career here so many years ago, and you've been back a few times with much success. What have you learned as a head coach over these years? Your starting at Clark and then moving on to Southern, and then now that has given you that insight to preparing for big games like this?
The biggest thing is your process. Don't deviate from it. Trust those standards or your core values and lean on them. When you look at big games, you don't want to put too much emphasis on them. I think as players and coaches, we understand the magnitude of the environment that we're about to enter. And you have to have a relaxedness about you. You got to stay calm so you can focus on the moment. That's one of the biggest things that we talked about this offseason is being better in the moment. And what happens is, especially with our young people, we get distracted in the moment. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout my college career and living in life is that we spend a lot of times on the things we cannot control. And we got to minimize that and just focus on the moment and see how great we can be today. Our motto is real simple: trust the process, go 1-0. And we believe as we stick to that, we got an opportunity and a platform to showcase how successful we can become.
The gentleman from Texas to my left.
Thank you, Jay Walker, Skywalker, that is. With that being said,
I
I'm
know
Dr.
you got to identify yourself.
I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, inside the HBCU Sports Lab with the Black College Sports Network, coming to you from Houston, Texas. With that being said, you alluded to a little bit about what you jokingly were going to talk about offensively, but this is for both of you all. And while offenses excite fans, many people, coaches will say defenses wins championships, and I know both of you all about winning a championship. Focus a little bit about your defensive back, Norfolk State, in terms of the young man Devon Allen. I'm sure he will be at the MEAC Football Media Day in terms of what he does, and then obviously Kendall Boulder for you, FAMU, and we talked with him just yesterday at the SWAC Media Day. Can you talk about what you would like to get done on the defensive side of the ball for this season, particularly in this matchup? Both coaches, please.
Well, for us, I think the biggest thing we had some losses on defense as well. But I think the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure we did on the defensive side was to continue what we were doing. We're not changing our defensive style. We're not changing how we play. So for us to keep that, when we were bringing coaches in, the biggest thing was they needed to learn what we were doing as opposed to how much they knew. Now, when you go on the back end, obviously, I've been on the back end with them for the last 3 years. Kendall Boulder specifically, as I was coaching the corners, and he's arguably not just one of the best in the SWAC. He's probably one of the best in the country. He brings size, he brings athleticism. He's extremely savvy. We had him in the boundary last year. More than likely might be moving him to the field, but he's a big body, a guy the NFL scouts are always talking about and want to know about. And I think the most important thing to me is he's already a graduate. And that's extremely important to me, and I know it's extremely important to our football team and to our university. But he's a quality young man. And you know, for us on the back end, if he's having a good game, more than likely defensively we're having a good game as well.
I think when you talk about Devon Allen, a lot of guys have transferred out of programs. Devon Allen is a guy that has stuck it out. And I'm very grateful for that and very thankful because the young man, he's a tremendous talent and he had other opportunities. But he chose to come back and finish out his career at Norfolk State. He's very fast. He's a competitor. When I first got there, I called him the angry man. But to see the growth, and I think that's some of the things that you don't get to experience in college sports anymore, is being able to take a freshman or a sophomore and watch them grow. So I'm excited to see this young man grow. I'm excited to see him play in his final season at Norfolk State. He's received his degree. He's a tremendous leader for and a tremendous competitor. And that makes our locker room stronger. When you have some 6-year guys that have endured the experiences that we've been through with 6 out of our 8 losses last year in the last 2 minutes, we're looking forward to the opportunity to give these guys a chance to taste winning. And they're eager and it's motivating them in the offseason. So when you look at Devon Allen, you will see what a Norfolk State graduate looks like and what somebody looked like that's going to be a great father and a great husband in life. And he's one of those guys. So I couldn't say enough about him, but I'm so grateful that he's a Spartan.
My friend, the young lady with the black and green.
Keisha J. Kelly, Black College Experience. I'm going to do like a 2-part question. I'll start with you, Coach Odoms. We know last season you went 3-8, but we know that's not an indicator of what your season would look like. Can you kind of elaborate on what you're going to do to close, with the new additions to kind of close the gap? And then with Coach Cogsey, with the preseason SWAC honors coming out yesterday, I think you had 7, 8 guys that were named. What are you going to do to capitalize on that to see that you get back to Atlanta?
Well, first of all, great seeing you again, Keisha. I follow you on social media, and I'm very proud of you. I see you doing your little workouts, and I want to say that don't stop. That I'm a fan, and I appreciate the hard work that you're putting in. The biggest thing is when you come off a season like we had in 2023, it's motivation. We got to look at some of the things that we didn't do very well and improve on the things that we did well. We got new offensive coordinators coming in, and Jason Phillips coming over from Alcorn State, and I think he's going to do an outstanding job. He's a builder of the quarterback position and a great play caller. So he's putting our guys in position to really be successful. But really, when you look at it, it's the chemistry of the guys in that locker room. Those freshmen and sophomores are now sophomores and juniors, and we added some pieces to the puzzle. We don't really talk about a whole lot of those guys because when I'm learning, when you talk about your guys and you love them up and you put a lot of social media out there, they end up somewhere else. So we limit that story, so we're trying to hold on to our guys. But the biggest thing is addressing your needs, figuring out where you were weak at, and improving on those weaknesses and making those your strengths. Beefing up the offensive line and defensive line and putting yourself in the position where you can have some depth so you can endure a season. And we feel like we've addressed those things. So we're excited about where we are and looking forward to starting the season in 2024 right here in Atlanta.
Can you do me a favor and repeat that question? Yeah, Coach Odoms lost me with the workout comment.
What's it going to take to get back to Atlanta with all those star players you got that were named first and second team all conference?
There we go. Well, I will say this. I'm going to speak about the guys that weren't honored. We had about 4 or 5 guys I really, really felt that should have been a part of that first or second team. Some really, really good players that you might have they might have awakened a little bit with that. I called them yesterday just to remind them that these are preseason selections and not postseason selections, and those are the most important. Now, trying to get back to Atlanta, obviously when you're the reigning HBCU national champs, you have to understand that no matter who you play, you're going to get their best. And And so our motto with this year is, we got a few, reload and repeat, obviously, but the biggest thing I need our guys to understand is that we can't have no surprises. We're gonna face whoever we face week in and week out, and we know that we are gonna receive and have to play our best because we're gonna be playing against their best. So we have a very, very veteran offensive line. Obviously, with us breaking in our new quarterback, whoever that may be, we're going to have to learn to run the football a hell of a lot better than maybe we've done in the past. But any good team, any good team that's going to play or win championships, they got to be able to run the football and they got to be able to stop the run. And those are the things that we are going to continue to hold true. And so, if we can do that, and obviously, we got a couple road games in the middle of the year that we're going to have to go and play some really, really good opponents. But if we can do those two things, protect the football, we got a heck of an opportunity to get ourselves back to Atlanta. So and those are the things that I feel we need to do.
Before I go to the next question here, let me ask both of y'all this question. Got to put it on the table there, elephant in the room. How important is it that y'all win this first football game of the year?
Oh, extremely important. Obviously, we can't go 2-0 unless we go 1-0. And I know everyone wants to talk about all the other games we play, but we're going to take it 1 week at a time. So it's extremely important. And I know everyone's excited about what we're doing, but ultimately, the Rattlers want W's. They don't want us to play well. They want W's, and that's important to everybody included in our program.
I think it's a tremendous confidence builder to start the season 1-0. 50% of the teams will be on one side or the other. The best thing for it is the momentum that you kickstart the season with, and it could drive you to greater and bigger things. So it's very important to the fan base, our institutions, but mostly our program. This is a game that you're going to get tested. Your physicality is going to be on display, and you got to be ready to match that intensity and enthusiasm for 60 minutes and beyond. And we feel like that football team that we're going to bring down here to Atlanta is going to finish off this summer and get ready for a fall camp and prepare to do that.
Young lady, am I right?
Good morning. Tanisha Batiste from TechNet as well as Locked On Sports. And Jay kind of asked a little bit of my question, but I'm still going to remix it a little bit for the coaches.
Give me the remix.
Yes, I will. So Coach Odoms, Coach Colsey, it's the same question for you. Coach Odoms, to you first. What does Norfolk State have to do specifically to get the win over FAMU in this game one? And conversely, to Coach Colsey, what specifically does FAMU have to do to get the win over Norfolk State?
My bad.
Well, the jury's still out. Well, when you look at the film from last year of your opponent, a lot of pieces are going to be different. So we always look at just the basic fundamentals that we feel like you got to be able to do consistently. You got to be able to run, you got to be able to block, you got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to do those things well on every play. If we can come out and just do those things on a consistent basis, eliminate big plays, don't turn the football over, do the things that every coach is going to talk about a little bit better than your opponent, then you give yourself a chance to have a successful outcome in this football game.
It's a great question, obviously. I will say this. I think for us, we will need to protect the football. That's going to be the biggest thing. Anytime you got a new quarterback coming in or a guy who hasn't necessarily played under the lights or under the type of lights that we're going to be playing under on the stage on August 24th, we got to be able to protect the football, make very, very good decisions. Now, our transfer portal and the people that we brought in, they're not, they haven't played a game for us just yet. I think that we have a lot of seniors that are part of our program, but we also brought a lot of graduate seniors in here as well. So, we'll on paper, we'll be a very, very talented bunch. But I think it's going to be important for the coaches throughout our training camp, and even we've been kind of instilling that stuff as far as the summer goes. But we're going to have to have the ability to play together. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I know I've looked at our guys. We're a very, very impressive bunch running around the field and in the weight room. But will we play together when it gets tight? And there's going to be a lot of tight situations that opening night. Are we going to be able to overcome any type of adversity that we will get? And we'll get some, an early turnover or whatever the case may be. So those are the things that I'm looking for, making sure that, again, as talented as we may be, will we play together when times get tough?
You like that answer? See what I go through every week, trying to get an answer to the question. They gave us some coach me questions. I can give you my personal opinion, but I'm going to jump out of that one. I'll follow up if somebody else doesn't do it. The man that's been waiting patiently to my left.
No problem. Jamie Walker, HBCU Wire.
What's up,
Black
Cousin Walker?
How you doing?
What's up?
Black College Sports Network. I kind of addressed this with Coach Cozy yesterday at SWAC Media Day as far as roster construction and things of that nature. Coach Odoms, you're talking about a lot of starters, a lot of information as far as starters coming back and just coaches having to manage a roster and convince people to stay. You address that when it comes to, putting them out there as far as, for the world to see. What message do you continue to give your players with that amount of starters coming back to remain at Norfolk State University?
Well, the goal is really what you look at to be able to keep guys and attract guys to your program. It's that end goal. And these guys want to achieve something that hasn't been done in a long time at Norfolk State. And the belief that we have in each other in that process and how we go about doing it. It's tough. But when you recruit high school guys and you grow them, you have a chance for those relationships to be fostered. And that's the biggest thing, is that the locker room got a chance to grow. And it's something when you've been in those trenches and you in that fight with your brother that you done went through some things with, that creates a togetherness that's like no other. And when you come in as a freshman and you get a chance to grow up with these guys, it's hard for you to go somewhere else and start taking on brotherhood of another institution. So these guys have an important place at Norfolk State, and they've created a brotherhood that's just continuing to grow as long as we can keep these guys together. But we know as success comes, other opportunities to go present themselves, and you want those guys to be able to have an opportunity for success on no matter what level it is. But while we have them, we go try to do something special at Norfolk State.
Gentlemen on my right.
Okay, this is for both coaches. Jason McDonald, Core 360 Sports. How important was this spring for you guys, other than staying healthy? I noticed you both brought in some midseason transfers from, especially Coach Odoms, from JUCOs. And how will they fare going into the season?
Go ahead.
Getting them there early gets them a chance to adjust to the university, the locker room, and give them a chance to feel at home, give them a chance to be a brother. I always say that when you are dating someone or you marry someone and they got kids that are 3 or 4 years old, you stay together. By the time those guys become 14, 15, 16, they're gonna call you dad. But if you marry someone and they got 14 and 15-year-old kids, they'll never call you dad. And that's what it's like when you coaching a freshman. As that freshman grow, you got a chance for that freshman to look at you as a father. So when you bring those transfers in and they got a chance to have 2 and 3 years in your program, then they too will be impacted by you, and they may not call you dad, but they may look at you and say, thank you, coach. And you can only do that when you have a chance to build relationships. And that's the greatest thing about bringing in guys that have years left, give you a chance to create some stability in your locker room, give you a chance to create some ownership, and give you a chance to really build a culture that will overcome the adversity that you're about to face.
Well, after spring practice for us, we knew we had to get to work. We had a few guys that we had lost in the portal. And then we had a few guys that we actually held out for injuries just to make sure that they could be healthy. But, I applauded that team after the spring because, we were missing some key people for a couple reasons. But, we weren't a very good team at that time. But we had a team that worked extremely hard and did everything that I asked them throughout that time period. Now, as we were done with spring and I got with the coaching staff, I wanted to do two things. I wanted us to ID who the players that we lost and who we needed to bring in, right? But I also wanted to make sure that we improved the bottom of our roster. And we did both of those things. We had some tough conversations with some kids, but ultimately improve our bottom of our roster, and then obviously get a list and find out what type of players that we needed to bring into this program. And so we wanted to make sure academically they were sound. So that's why we went with quite a few more grad transfers than we may have done in the past. And obviously we wanted to make sure we brought guys in that didn't just come for 1 year. We wanted to make sure that if they were going to come to Florida A&M, they were going to be there at least 2. So I think we achieved that, and we want to obviously losing players, to Group of Five or Power Four conferences. Excuse me, FBS places or Power Four conferences, losing players to that. We wanted to make sure we brought players in to that magnitude as well. So I thought we did that, but after the spring, obviously we had our spring game. Everybody was excited. I thought everybody worked really, really hard for us, but we knew we needed to be better, and I think we did that.
Young lady in the second row.
Hi, it's Kennedy Jackson, student intern with the Atlanta Voice, and also a proud Southern Jaguar. Just had to throw that in there. My question is for both coaches. Okay. Looking forward, what are your broader goals for the season and team as a whole, and what does this game, where does it fit into that?
My turn. Okay. I think for us, even though it's a new year, the expectations are the same. I got a very, very good taste in my mouth, obviously, last year, and the road we took, going 12-1 and winning the SWAC championship, and then obviously winning and playing and winning the Celebration Bowl. When I go speak to the alumni, which I've done over the last 5 or 6 months, not one person has told me, "Hey, Coach, hopefully we just do okay." That has not necessarily been the conversation. So the conversation is getting back. That's the goal. And again, new year, but the expectations stay the same. Now, what I will say is, we have to make sure we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. We got to make sure we're really, really good during training camp. Then we got to make sure we're really, really good week 1. Those are the things that we have to make sure we take care of. We can't get too far ahead. I'm not going to let our players and our coaches get too far ahead. So let's just take this thing day by day. And if we do what we're supposed to do and we play as a team, I like our chances. But the key thing is we got to make sure that we do that week in and week out.
When you look at what is it going to take, when you look at that process and what verbiage you're using and how you're reaching your program, what are you instilling in them so that they can gain the confidence to be able to believe that they can go out and achieve the long-term goal. I believe in focusing on the process and just keeping things 1-0. Sometimes you look too far ahead, you get out of that spectrum of what's right in front of you. And I think a lot of us deal with that on a day-to-day basis. So we just try to keep our players locked in on that mindset. Just go 1-0. Be the best student you can be today. Be the best friend. Be the best brother. Be the best son. And be the best football player that you can be today. Tomorrow got enough of problems. So let's dominate today, and let's feel good when we lay down and rest that we deposited a good day. And if you deposit enough good days, you don't ever have to worry about the week, the month, or the year. So let's just keep depositing good days by going 1-0. Whoa! That was free for y'all.
I was awake.
I saw you out there dozing off.
All right, well, let's see how much you're giving. Each coach, I want to know. I want to know. Give me 2 to 3 players that we should keep an eye on in this football game coming up.
Can I go 2 to 3 offense and 2 to 3 defense, if possible?
All right, give it up, the more the better.
I'll go with our 3 offensive linemen that are returning. Who one was named all conference, a preseason all conference yesterday, and that's Ashton Grable. And then I'll make sure to mention T.J. Lee and Jalen Goss. Those 3 guys are going to be key ingredients to what we're trying to do offensively. If we have the ability to run the football and be able to hand the ball off to Kelvin Dean and then have the opportunity to get our wide receivers out in space, I like our chances on the offensive side. Now, defensively, James Ash, who again should have been a preseason all-conference selection. You got him. You got Alan Smith, who was a preseason all selection, and then Deco Wilson and Kendall Bowler. Those are all guys that again they played for us. They've been extremely successful for us, and obviously have some other guys that we brought in, but they're not going to get their names set. They're not going to get their names set yet until they actually make plays wearing a FAMU Rattler uniform. So those are the guys that I would say offensively and defensively, and I cannot forget our special teamers: Cameron Gillis, Trey Will Hoyt, our long snappers Martinez and Baylor Pavin. So those are the guys that obviously returning for us who are going to have a huge assignment, and we need them to be at top in the conference as far as what we're going to need from them for us to be successful.
Coach O.
In order for the Spartans to be dominant in 2024, our offensive line is going to have to play really, really well. V.J. Bird, Garrison Wheatley, those guys are returning. Darrell McMillan, those guys are returning starters that played a lot of snaps for us. That's going to have to be dynamic day in and day out. in order for us to be really, really good. And we put some guys in there that are still playing at a high level, but we returned 4 out of the 5 starters. And that's good for us on that offensive line because the continuity is there. Ryan Nolan is a guy that's go get some reps in there. So just the big guys, I say it always starts up front. And when you look at how we're built, the running back room is going to be somewhere we lean our hat because those guys, we're returning our top leading rusher in Kavon King. And at the end of the day, whoever's the signal caller, he's going to have some playmakers on the outside, but these guys got to step up and get ready for the prime moment, the prime time. And I don't know if they're ready for it, but they got time to get ready for it. And that's what we're going to build as we go through fall camp. When you look at our defense, we're solid. AJ has done a really good job for us. AJ Richardson, he's returning, freshman, All-American. And also that fourth offensive lineman would have been Samuel Estridge, who's also a freshman All-American. And we're excited. AJ he's our signal caller. He's going to get us lined up, get us in the right defense, make the right checks, make the right call. And he loves playing football. Our 2 corners are very good, and Teron Mallory and Devon Allen. Those guys have played a lot of snaps, and they're very competitive. They're smart football players, and they stabilize our secondary. And then up front, that's the biggest improvement, bringing in Aaron Tiller to be our new defensive line coach and returning guys in their 6th year like Sage, who's done an outstanding job for us from a leadership. Sage will be finishing up his career not only with a bachelor's but also with a master's. And just watching how Sage and Levante Jacobs have grown and become great leaders and great players, they improve their size, their weight. So we have good continuity, and it starts up front. As long as we can play well in the trenches, we like our chances against anybody.
The legend on my right.
I don't know about that. Well, both coaches, welcome to Atlanta. Sam Crenshaw, 92-90 game, and Atlanta 69. We both talked about how important it is to be here for the last game of the year, which would be the Celebration Bowl, and the fact that this game is going to give you a network television platform. I just wanted both of you to talk about the importance of having your brands of your schools in this city. You know, Florida, and then we see Florida A&M athletics here quite a bit. I can't remember the last time Norfolk State played a football game here in this town. Talk about the importance of having your brands in Atlanta.
The biggest thing is, I don't know if we really understand the magnitude of Saturday night. You don't hear it a lot. I hear Coach Saban refer to it, the other day like it's no Saturday night like a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. But do we really understand that this year is a kickoff, and we're kicking off major event. Saturday night, college football on ABC. I mean, we sitting in here as if we do this every day. We're playing Saturday night college football on ABC. Well, see, if that's the best we can do, we might as well play on Tuesday night. Guys, this is prime time. Do you know how many schools would never receive this opportunity to play college football on Saturday night on ABC? Mr. Grant, we can't say thank you enough.
What he said.
You don't even have to say anything. The Rattlers already think they're on Atlanta anyway.
Well, obviously, you get a chance to come back to Atlanta, and we got a real big time base here. The fans are obviously excited, and as mentioned, you're playing on ABC, you're playing primetime football. It's a major event, for us, for our program, for our administration, everyone who supports the FAMU Rattlers. But I'll be honest with you, you know, whenever we come to town, it's a big game regardless, not just for us, but also who's playing us. And you know, we can't get too big in the moment. We've played under the lights before. You know, we played in the Celebration Bowl where the lights were brighter than at any time in the country. And you know, and again, we got some guys that are veterans, and they've played in hopefully this type of setting, and we'll find out. I know August 24th, but we can't make this moment as big as it may be. We got to still get ourselves ready to play. We got to be calm under pressure, and I think obviously playing under lights is extremely special and important. But we also got to still be able to play football, and we got to do it in a smart way and play it in the fashion that we know how to play.
Gentleman on my left, front row.
Good morning, coaches. My name is Brian Fulford, Black College Sports Network. My question for Coach Odoms. Coach Colzie, he gets a lot of questions about who's going to be QB1, but you have two quarterbacks who have been in the program. They played significant, at least two, who played significant snaps in Otto Coons and Cameron Sapp, who transferred to Norfolk State from Florida A&M. Talk a little bit about those two quarterbacks, their work over the offseason during the summer. I'm not sure if it didn't sound like you're still working through the process to see who's going to take the job as QB1 for the 24th of August. But if you would, just talk about those two quarterbacks and maybe if there's anybody else who might pop onto the scene and challenge for that starting job on week 0, week 1.
Competition makes us all better. We're coming off a season that was 3-8. So if you come off a 3-8 season, should nobody be sitting on the bus thinking that they're going to ride in that front seat? We have to go to work. You got to roll your sleeves up and continue to compete, and that's what we challenge our guys to do day in and day out. And those two guys are competing. They know there's nothing given in our program. Everything is earned. And we'll come out of fall camp. We'll see where we're at, and we'll announce a starter probably the week we break fall camp. But we got a tremendous competition going. I think the experiences that those guys endured last year is going to help them be better quarterbacks going into 2024. But they got to compete. And whoever wins the job, we feel like we're going to be in a good position going forward in 2024.
All righty, that's going to conclude our portion of questions from the media. But we're going to do something a little different here right now. We want to hear from the fans. So we're going to allow one question from each fan base. One question from each fan base. Is there a fan that wants to ask a question? Right now, we'll give you a couple seconds to organize it.
Is FAMU you going to ask Coach Odoms a question and Norfolk State going to ask me a question? Is that how we're doing?
So, FAMU pick a fan, Norfolk State pick a fan. Identify yourself and ask the question. All right.
All right, Rob Ross, second vice president of the Atlanta Metro Alumni Chapter, also a graduate of Norfolk State in 1994, also 4-year player at Norfolk State.
Okay.
All conference, but Coach, I got one play left after that speech. But if you thought of one thing, what are you, Norfolk State, the football program, gonna get out of this weekend?
The experience is gonna be tremendous for our young men. We're not just coming to play a football game. We have some other activities that we're gonna allow our young men to experience, such as going to take a look at MLK and understanding that our history is only important when we spread it, and having an impact that's going to last with them for a lifetime, and being able to embrace this opportunity. This platform and this opportunity is why you choose to go to colleges, because we have a chance to do something for young men that a lot of places are not able to do. We don't take this lightly, and we're forever grateful for the city of Atlanta welcoming us into the MEAC SWAC Challenge in 2024. Thank you for allowing us to give our young men and women that will be coming a student experience like no other.
Coach, give you a little advice. Give you a little advice. When you're touring the city with this transfer portal and everything going on, I'd stay away from the AUC. More I'll spend with some dudes may get off the bus. That would be it. Rattlers, who do we got?
Hello, everyone. I'm Dobie Ingram, Rattler football player, 4-year graduate as well. MEAC champion as well. Coach Cozy, my biggest thing right now, I want to know the team's camaraderie and how does everyone feel right now about the upcoming season?
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things we have to work on. I'll be honest with you. We got a lot of new guys on our roster, you know, and I think it was extremely important for us to get our transfer portal guys, our guys that are graduate transfers, et cetera, to get them on campus. You know, once we got them on campus and having them the opportunity to start lifting with our strength and conditioning coach, meeting with our staff, you know, that was extremely important. We go every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and our security guards are sometimes that mad at us when we go at 6 o'clock in the morning. But you know, us being able to lift and train and meet together is only going to help our camaraderie. You know, I think the biggest thing that people are failing to realize about last year's team, that even though we were very, very talented, but we were also very, very close. You know, and those are the things that we couldn't wait till fall camp to do any of that stuff. We had to do that stuff during the summer. So the first session, again, lifting, training, eating, working together. The second session of summer school, same thing, lifting, training, working out together. So we're getting close. We're not where I would like to be, but you know, we do have another month. We're gonna institute a couple team building activities where we were supposed to have practice, but we're not gonna practice. We got to make sure we're a close bunch. So we're getting there, but for us to be where we need to be, again, back in this city later in the season, we're gonna have to play. We're going to be even more tighter than we may be right now.
All righty. Good questions by y'all. Good question by both fan bases. That's going to bring to an end our question and answer session right now. I do want to remind everybody, and Coach Odom kind of alluded to this earlier, ABC's coming out with a new series platform called Saturday Night College Football Live on ABC, and this game will be the very first one of that thing. So round of applause to ABC and John Grant and the crew for having the first of that series as well. This time I'd like to invite some VIPs to come up to the stage where we can do a photo opportunity. Our sponsors, any of our commissioners that are here, executive director, come on up to the stage. Immediately after we take this picture, there will be an opportunity to talk one-on-one with the coaches, the athletic directors, as well as John Grant as well. Give both coaches a round of applause, please. Thank you for attending the 2024 MEAC SWAC Challenge press conference.